Gwaltney Group, RE/MAX results. Welcome to Rochester Real Estate, featuring Robin Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group RE/MAX results and Andy Brownell. Here's Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk, 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Good morning, everyone. It's Saturday again, time for our weekly get-together with Robin Gwaltney with Gwaltney Group RE/MAX results. Good morning, Robin.
Good morning. I always look so forward to this.
Well, that's nice. You, before we flip the switch, you told me it's been a busy week for you.
It has been, which makes me so excited because, we've all heard, oh my gosh, where's the market going? Is it going to be bad? And I kept saying, hang in there, guys, hang in there. And just like I was telling you before we actually came on air, in the last 3 days, 4 of my listings that have been sitting around for a little while, 30 days, 45 days, 72 days, all sold, and all 4 of them had multiple offers.
Oh.
So they all got good offers. And why is that, you might ask? And it's because, as you know, when the feds lowered their rates again, raised their rates again, the mortgage rates actually dropped a little bit. So people are excited. 5.5 isn't as scary as, oh my God, by January they're going to be 8.5 at this rate.
We did hear that, didn't we?
Oh my gosh, yes. But nope, they've settled in. They're kind of expected to stay right there. Anybody who's been around for any time at all knows there is nothing wrong with a 5.5% 30-year fixed mortgage rate.
Absolutely.
And so what we're seeing is, and of course we still have a shortage of inventory. So people are realizing that, and they're like, okay, we're either one of those people that pulled out of the market because we got sick and tired of losing in multiple offers and offering far above the list price. And so now we're back because we've heard that we can even ask for a few $1,000s off or ask for the seller to maybe pay a little bit towards our closing costs. Well, I have been saying, if you want to get in on that, get in now, because my opinion is by March, those days are going to be gone. Well, here we are, February, and 4 listings sold in the last 3 days, all in multiple offers. And none of them were new to the market, none of them. So just saying, people are definitely regaining their buyers' confidence, and they're back out there looking at houses, and they're realizing, hey, you know what, at least I'm not paying well. Because even the ones that sold in multiple offers, of the 4, 2 sold above ask, and the other 2 sold, I can't say legally, but let's just say they made the sellers very, very happy. Okay, so they're not lowball offers, and the ones that went above are not crazy above. So the good news is you can still pay for a property what it's worth instead of getting into this nutty market where you have to offer $50,000 over to even be considered. So.
And if folks had been listening to you 6-8 weeks ago,
they'd have been out buying 6-8 weeks ago.
Exactly.
And I had a few that really got a good deal. I had one buyer particularly who got money off the house, got some new carpet put in the house, and got the seller to pay for a 2-1 buy down, which cost the seller $15,000. Now, this was a high 6s price range, but I said to those buyers, you got such a rocking good deal, and they know it. And when they're really going to know it is in a couple of years. They're going to be like, we have how much equity in our house?
Right.
So anyway, again, it's good to be advised by somebody who's been around, somebody who has a really good understanding of the market. And I'm not by any means trying to tell you that I'm the only person. I'm definitely one of those people. And there are others out there, but it's really important to be guided by somebody who understands this market and understands the best way to make an investment, because that's what you're doing when you're buying a house. You're not just buying a house to live in. You're making one of the biggest investments you'll ever make in your lifetime, and you do want guidance. So stay away from those for sale by owners. Stay away from the, you'll save money if there's no realtor involved, because chances are it's not true.
Yeah, you had brought that, it was last year sometime, that study that was put together that showed that when you did use a realtor versus not, that you more than made up for the commission.
11%. People who were selling with a realtor versus the same kind of properties for sale by owner, the ones with the realtor were getting 11% more money. So nobody's paying 11% commission. So they were definitely coming out money ahead.
A no-brainer.
No-brainer.
I think it's interesting with the interest rates because the Fed raised it a 0.25 percentage point, but the mortgage rate went down. But I understand why, because the Fed also signaled by not going 0.75 of a point or even 0.5 point that we may be near the end here.
Exactly.
Things may shift.
And do you know that we actually had Lance Smith, who is the president of Results Mortgage, came and spoke to us at the office, I don't know, midweek. And he said, let me tell you what's going to happen. He said, in my opinion, the feds are going to raise by 0.25%, and we're going to see a drop in the mortgage rates. And he said, if I'm wrong, if they come back and make a bigger hike, if they go 0.5, we're definitely going to see rates go up. And if they come back and go 0.75, we're in trouble because there's going to be an all-out panic. Rates are going to, go up by a lot. And so he was right. He called it. And they talked about the amount, what am I trying to say? The level where the inflation is, the inflation rate, how it has dropped so much. And, I think the Fed's a lot of criticism for all these rate hikes, but it seems to have been pretty effective.
Yeah, we hope it has, man. Yeah, that's I think the only place they're still a little concerned about is wages. The wages are still moving up.
Yeah.
But everything else is either leveled off or dropping.
Right.
Except for our darn eggs.
Eggs and heat has been a doozy this winter, hasn't it?
Yeah.
A lot of people have really complained about it. But it doesn't help that we've also had some really cold weather. But I understand it's going to be warm this next week. So starting
today.
Yay. It doesn't feel that warm. But, yeah, I mean, anything's better than 14 below or whatever it was yesterday.
Yeah, that's disheartening, isn't it?
It's February now. It'll go fast, and the next thing you know, it'll be March, and we'll be like, woohoo.
I know.
It's springtime. I'm seeing tulips.
You're right. For the tulips, we're literally 6 to 7 weeks away.
Yeah, and that's a sure sign of spring is near.
Yeah. I always know after we get past that big football game.
Yeah, we can't say the name of.
Yeah, then we can. Then it seems like things shift a little bit.
And I'm always one, I'm one of those football fans that by the time it's over, I am so ready for it to be over. I am looking forward to baseball season. I am ready for the warm weather and the sunshine, just like everybody else who lives in Minnesota is. I went to the Twins Caravan event. Oh, did you? Earlier in the week. Yeah, they did a nice job. Yeah, and it got me already in the baseball mood of things. Oh, there you go. Well, but your household... Baseball. It's going to be baseball. It's going to be better real estate market. There's going to be tulips. There's all kinds of things to look forward to. There you go. Glass half full. But I was going to say, you have a household of Kansas City fans, so... We do, which makes it really fun. Yeah. Really fun. I'm excited. Yeah. All right. Well, you have the monthly report. Why don't we dive into that after we take a quick break, Robin? Okay, we will. All right. Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group-RE Max Results. Back in a moment on News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM. We'll be right back with Robin Gwaltney and Andy Brownell on Rochester Real Estate. This is News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM. Update your bathroom with help from Menards. A brand new Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group-RE Max Results and Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM. Welcome back, everyone. Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group-RE Max Results on this Saturday morning. You have some real estate marketplace numbers to share with us. Yes, this market report is pretty current. It was done on Thursday, February 2nd, so a couple days. But we'll take a look at the numbers, okay? Currently, there are 115 sales pending in the market overall, leaving 165 listings still for sale. Now, this was Thursday. I just told you I sold 4, so now that make that 161. Actually, there's been a few others that I've sold too, but like I said, this is a couple days old. The resulting pending ratio is 41%. Okay, so you get that number by taking those 115 sales, dividing it by the 280. So what does that number actually mean? Well, that pending ratio indicates the supply and demand of the market. So specifically, if we have a high ratio, that means that the listings are in demand and they're quickly going to contract. But on the other hand, if we have a low ratio, that means that there's not enough qualified buyers for the existing supply. So we're at 41%. That's pretty much right in the middle of the road,
Yep.
right? And so it's one of those markets where it's not necessarily more beneficial to the buyers than it is the sellers or vice versa. But it's a really good time to be in the market because of the normalcy that we're seeing, right? So taking a closer look, I can tell you that the 200 to 300 price range has a relatively large number of contracts pending. It always seems to be the sweet spot.
Right.
And that same price range, the 200 to 300, actually has a relatively large inventory of properties for sale. We have 38 listings in that price range. And right now, the median list price for all of our listings is $444,900. Okay, that number just keeps getting higher and higher. In the last 6 months, we have closed 762 deals, and our median sale price over the past 6 months has actually been $299,950.
Okay.
So, right again, that 300,000, that sweet spot. So breaking it down, we do notice that the 200 to 300K price range contains the highest number of sold listings. Alternatively, a total of 144 listings didn't sell in that 6 months time period. So those were houses that were, either not in good condition, or maybe they were overpriced, or maybe the sellers just had second thoughts because they thought, they're not going to get what they want now, so they took them off the market. You can't see my chart, but looking at my chart, it can talk about the days on market. And this is what I've been saying. The active listings have been on the market for a median time of 75 days.
Okay.
So if you are a buyer, please hear me out. Just because a house has been on the market for 70 days does not mean that you're going to be able to come in and pay $40,000 less than what it's worth. I mean, honestly, I told you I've had these 4 properties sell recently. Every one of them attracted at least one lowball offer before we finally got the offer that we needed, because they were coming with this, we'll give you cash, we'll close quickly. Okay, well, that's $55,000 less than we ended up selling for in the end, so that wasn't that great of a deal. Right. So, and they come with this thought that, oh my gosh, that house has been on the market 60 days. Last year, that would have meant, last year's last year, last year's last year, this is this year. And average is 75 days on the market. So that means a house can be on the market for 75 days and still sell for what it's worth. I had one of my listings 72 days on the market, sold for above asking price in multiple offers. So that days on market is not the indicator that you're going to get a steal of a deal, just so you know that.
And the 72 days is actually pretty historically normal.
Absolutely it is. And so again, we've talked about how something like 90% of the active real estate agents have been in the business for 5 years or less. So they don't remember, they don't know, they're not aware that that's perfectly normal. So even many of the licensed real estate agents think, oh my gosh, that's been on the market that long. That must be overpriced, or we need to come in way low. And that's unfortunate, because then those are the people who are guiding the buyers, and then they tell them that, and then they're going to miss out on house after house. Now, one particular buyer had offered on 2 of my properties lowball offers that both sold for really strong offers, one yesterday, one today. And I had a talk with their agent, and I said, now when these close, you'll be able I can't share with him what they sold for now, but I said, when these close, you can print these out, you can try to educate your buyers that, this is how many days they were on the market, but this is still what they sold for, and just try to help the buyers understand, because listen, you can't blame them. They're hearing all this negative, and foreclosures are going to start piling up. Nope, not happening. So anyway, go ahead.
I was going to say that what you are telling me as well is that these homes that had been on the market for over 70 days ended up being sold pretty close to what they were actually worth.
And in a couple of cases, well, they're what they're worth, but for even more than what they were listed.
I guess, yeah.
They're selling for what they're worth, but yes. So, I mean, that's my point is don't assume that they're not going to get their asking price just because they've been on the market that many days, because if that's the average days on market, it just means it's taking longer to get what your house is worth. You're still going to get what it's worth, okay?
Yep. And I should have said what you were asking for the house.
Right.
Yeah.
And so this number has gone up quite a bit in the last 6 months because 6 months ago, the rates hadn't started to climb yet. And so if they look back, the median sold price of that $299,950 over the past 6 months, the average days on market during that same time period was 17 days. So when it goes from 17 days to 75 days, you can't blame people for thinking, oh, there's going to be deals to be had. And sometimes there are, even though there probably shouldn't be, because the seller buys into it and the seller starts to feel panicked and the seller wants to take the low offer. In 2 of the 4 that I just recently sold, 2 of the sellers said to me, are you sure we shouldn't just take this? And I'm not doing my job if I tell them yes. I say, no, we're going to get more. This house is worth more. Here's the comps. Here's the proof. We're just going to have to wait it out. We're not even on the market the average number of days yet. Just hang in there. And both times they were like, oh my gosh, thank you for being, helping us out. And thank you for being patient with us. And thank you for getting us more money. So,
I bet they were very happy with you.
Yeah, have a good guide. It's never been more important. The recent history of sales will show you that the median sold price for the last 30 days, just the past 30 days, so not the 6 months anymore, was $293,900 with days on market of 42 days. So the ones that sold, were that lower price range, and then because we have higher price ones on the market, that is affecting that average days of 72. Make sense?
No, it does make sense. It makes sense too with the rates, because the rate higher than 3% will have less of an impact on the monthly payment for the lower priced home than it would for the higher priced home.
Correct. And so even when the average days on market was 17 for the for the median, the averages were 31. And so now the median 75, the average is 88. But again, taking into consideration all price ranges. Okay.
Yep.
So, that's kind of where we're at. So the market is, I'm super excited because we all know that in Rochester, in the month of March, comes the resident match. And so there's always a rush to buy homes. And when they see something online and they see 2 days later that it's sold, that's an indication that spring market's upon us. So here we are. I've always said, you hear the spring market's in March. I say it's the middle of February. Well, we're not even to the middle of February yet.
Right.
We're in the beginning of February, and I say the spring market is upon us. So
wow.
I, for one, am super excited about the way the real estate market is going.
Excellent. We'll take another break, Robin. Back in a moment with Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group-RE Max Results on News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
We'll be right back with Robin Gwaltney and Andy Brownell on Rochester Real Estate. This is News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
It's the High Mega Meat Sale this Friday through Sunday.
Robin Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group-RE Max Results and Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Good morning. Welcome back. Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group-RE Max Results. With us, of course, talking about the Rochester area, southeastern Minnesota real estate market. And, I follow you on Facebook, Robin. And I
follow you back.
And it's not stalking or anything like that. It's just...
No, it's good. It's being in the know. I love it.
So I saw that you added 2 new team members, and one of them I recognized right away as a former Minnesota Viking wide receiver.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
It is cool.
Yeah, so that particular new agent is Michael Floyd, and I've only known him a few weeks now. I actually had a Zoom meeting with him right before we went on the continuing ed cruise, and then we met in person after. And Scott and I had lunch with he and his lovely wife, Sydney, and he was really explaining to me, he was a successful football player and he made a lot of money, and I guess he could just do something else. He could invest his money. He wouldn't have to go to work, but he's also a father of 3 kids, and he wants to be a good role model. And he is so excited about having a job and going into the office and comes to the meetings, and he's just really excited. So 8 years in the NFL, and he was a Minnesota boy in the first place. He went to
Cretan.
Yeah, he did. Yep, you're right. And it's so funny because I know a little bit about sports, but my son and my husband know way too much about sports. So when I told Brett, Michael Floyd wants to join our team, and he's like, Michael Floyd? And I'm like, yeah. He goes, oh my God. I go, do you know him? Oh my God, Mom. He went to Cretan. He was so good. He went to Notre Dame on a full scholarship. He broke all kinds of records there. He was drafted in the first round, 13 overall pick. I'm like, wow, you do know who he is. But anyway, I'm like, the kid's so humble, and if I didn't Google him, I just know he played football because he told me. So, I would have never known that he was such a megastar. But, great kid. And, 33, he's not a kid, but to me, he is. And he's got so much ambition and so much energy. And I'm so impressed because we have our RE/MAX Results Awards night coming up. And so I was telling him about it. I was telling him it's a great way to meet other people in the company, to meet our CEO and our broker owner. And he said, when is it? And I told him it's February 10th. And he said, oh, dang. He said, I'm supposed to be flying out to Arizona that day to meet up with some buddies to watch the big game and go golfing on Saturday and watch the game on Sunday. And I said, oh, well, you'll have to do it next year. And then he said, oh, no, from this day forward, work comes first. I'll change my plans. Yeah.
Wow.
So I am super impressed. I'm really impressed. And I'm thrilled that he picked us because I feel like a lot of people would have, people have like kind of a thing about the celebrity part of it, right? And I think there will be buyers and sellers who get a kick out of working with him just because they knew him from football. But I think when they get to know him, they're going to really like working with him because he's just a super nice guy. I took him with me to a listing appointment last week, and this little lady, this seller of this house, had no idea who he was, and nor did we tell her. And she was like packing him up cookies in baggies to take home to his little kids. She's like, do you have kids? And he said, yeah. And she said, how many? And she's baked, she had baked homemade cookies for the listing appointment. She was sending him home with them. And he's like, oh, I'm going to love this job. And he's, we're big into the strengths training. And so he did his strengths test, and surprise, his number one strength is competition. And his second is relator. So he's really good at relating with people, and I could tell that right away. So I'm super excited for his enthusiasm and just the smile on his face and his willingness to dive right in. So it's going to be really fun. He actually lives up in the cities, and he will be doing a lot of his business up in the cities, but he still chose to work with us after interviewing with several brokerages. So I was
wow, that's neat.
By that. Yeah.
Has he worn the Super Bowl ring too? Because he was
he has one. Yeah,
New England. I think he was with the Patriots.
You're right. I said, so tell me the truth about Tom Brady, and he goes, he's a great guy. I'm like, dang it. But anyway. So the second one I'm equally excited about, our second new team member this month is Kathy Enerson, and Kathy and I have quite a history. Kathy and I are the same age. As a matter of fact, she'll love me shouting this out on the radio, but on February 8th, she turns the big 6-0. And she, when she was in college, got her real estate license. So do the math. She's had it for a while. And she has had an extensive background in real estate. She worked with Bob DeWitt's back in the day and got real familiar with new construction. She worked with Mac Hamilton for a while and learned about commercial. And she and I worked together on marketing Summerby when it first came.
Oh, sure.
Those first townhomes and stuff before they brought their own real estate company in. But anyway, from 2001, 9/11 actually was the first day she worked for me. She was my assistant for the next 6 or 7 years or so. And then, of course, the market started to change in 2008. I no longer needed an assistant. She actually took a job with CETA, so she's got 15 years of community economic development experience as well. So she just comes with a ton of experience. So Michael doesn't come with real estate experience, but comes with definitely a sense of what it means to belong to a team, and he's going to be a really valuable part of our team. I can tell it. And Kathy brings a lot of experience. So, 2 really awesome new team members that, what a great way to start the year. I'm so excited about both of them. I mean, I already know I love Kathy, and I can tell you I am very fond of Michael in the short time I've known him. So, that's super excited.
Well, congratulations on finding some great new team members.
Thanks. I asked Michael if he wanted to do his introduction on the radio, and he said, maybe next week.
Okay. He and I can talk football
whenever he's ready.
ready.
Yeah, there you go. I said, whenever you're ready, it's fine. So
that's exciting, yeah.
Yeah, it is. I mean, good things are happening. Like I say, I've told you this before. My team has grown organically. I have seriously not gone out and recruited any of the people that are on my team. They have reached out to me. He reached out to me. So, I didn't know him from anything. He just did his research and decided who he wanted to interview with, and I was just one of those people. But most people either know somebody else that's worked on our team, or they used to work with them somewhere else, or they worked with me when I worked at Coldwell Banker or something like that. But our team has grown very organically, and as you know, we are the largest and most successful team in all of Southeast Minnesota, and I think it's largely because of the culture that we have here and the connection. Everybody has each other's back. It's fun to come to work. It's so much fun to come to work.
Well, I can attest to that from just my dealings with the team members I have met, and last year going to that wonderful picnic that you had. That was so much fun out at the History Center.
Oh, yeah, our luau, yes.
Yeah. Very nice atmosphere, that's for sure.
So I'm one of those people, I love a clean slate. I love a fresh start. I'm always just really psyched up at the beginning of the year, looking forward to what's going to happen in the year, always knowing that this year is going to be even better than the year before. And I'm super pumped.
All right.
Feeling good.
So if you want to get in on this real estate market the way it is now, or if you just have some questions about the real estate market. Any questions?
Absolutely. If there's anything I can help you with, if there's anything I can, just educate you on, or just answer questions that you might have, or if somebody's told you something and you're not sure it's quite right, if you want to run it by me, please do not hesitate to call me. My cell phone is 507-259-4926, and you can also email me. Our website is GwaltneyGroup.com, and all of the team members' contact information is on that website. You can see who the team members are. So, feel free to reach out to us. We want to help you.
All right, Robin. We'll do this again next Saturday. Thanks so much.
Okay. Have a great week.
You too. Robin Gwaltney with Gwaltney Group RE/MAX Results on News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.
This is